Go.
You're listening to episode 96 of Fresh Floppies.
Yay! I still miss Noel. What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're listening to Fresh Floppies. This is episode 96. Noel is still not here, and thank God.
I am still not Noel.
Yeah. Whew, so much better.
For better or worse.
Hi,
better.
Jeremy.
Nice.
Hi,
hey.
Jeremy. If you don't know Jeremy, he's from the store.
Yeah.
The JDsHeroComplex.
I was born here. I've lived here. He doesn't let me out.
Located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. Come by shit. Today's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day. This show, Fresh Floppies, the one you're listening to, the one you clicked on purposefully, is a show wherein we talk about today's comic books, New Comic Book Day, without spoilers, so that you can go to your local comic shop or LCS if you're in the know, well armed with what you may or may not be interested in checking out. So you're welcome. Oh, I like your shirt.
Oh, thanks.
Is it X-Wing Income Corporation?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Neither have I.
I'm not a big enough I'm a Star Wars fan, but not a big enough Star Wars fan to know Incom makes the X-Wings.
Right. Well, you do now.
I do. Thank you. All right. What do we got? What are we doing?
I'll start with Superman.
Superman Unlimited #1, brand new Superman series from Dan Slott. Now, Jeremy, you may or may not know this. Dan Slott has been working for Marvel Comics for, 20 years probably at this point. He did one of my favorite Spider-Man runs, which was called Superior Spider-Man, which sounded dumb as hell, and then it happened, and I was like, oh, man, that was really good.
I've heard only good things about Superior Spider-Man.
Awesome. Yeah, it's one of my all-time faves. And now he's come over to DC, and he started his first book is a new Superman book called Superman Unlimited. It's written by Dan Slott with art by Raphael Albuquerque, who you may know from, a while ago. He did American Vampire, which was a DC book. What was that called? Preacher. I think it was one of those books, wasn't it? Anyway, I digress. What did you think of Superman Unlimited by Dan Slott? Wait, shut up. What do you think of Superman?
In general?
Yeah.
Oh, I enjoy Superman.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I enjoy Superman. I'm a fan. I think I was probably in the group of people that thought Superman was too simple until I actually started reading comics.
Right? I was the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Boring.
And I'd say a pretty big fan. Not a very knowledgeable fan, but an enthusiastic one.
I dip in and out when something interesting is happening or if there's a writer or a creative team that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't just read Superman all the time. Like Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man I probably just will always read until, I'm on my deathbed.
Sure. But
Superman is like, I can skip this for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, honestly, my personal first exposure to Superman, at least regularly, was World's Finest, the current series.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that started
Mark Waid.
Yep, that started right about the time that I started reading comics. So since then, I've been enjoying it.
You're just a little guy, just a little newbie.
I am, yeah. So small.
So, anyone who is kind of interested in Superman but not entirely sure, I would say jump onto Superman, just the regular title by Joshua Williamson. Because while I historically have not enjoyed Joshua Williamson's work, this particular series is awesome.
I'm enjoying that too.
Yeah, his work on Superman is just really, really good.
And we are about to wrap up an event with Superman, right? We are yesterday, I believe.
We are yesterday, which is Mark Waid.
Mm-hmm. Big fan of his too.
And it is, it runs through World's Finest and Justice League Unlimited.
Is that it? I thought it jumped in Superman 2, or am I wrong?
I don't think so.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
It's just the two books that Mark Waid writes.
Gotcha.
Anywho, Superman Unlimited, new #1 dropped. And I read the Free Comic Book Day intro, and it's literally the intro. There is a cold open to this book with a reveal, and then the title card comes up. That entire first part is the Free Comic Book Day thing. And I enjoyed the beginning, and then the entire middle is Superman flashing through his life, like his life is flashing before his eyes.
Yes.
As he's quote unquote dying. And it's very expository.
It's very expository. Admittedly, I think if someone hasn't experienced a lot of comics and picked this up, I think this is what a person would expect from a #1, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So if someone is interested in Superman, I don't know where the story is going. I don't know if it'll be worth your time, but you will get a good background of Superman.
Yeah, you get his
fair.
entire backstory.
Yeah, you get everything.
Yeah, like all through his death and all that other stuff. And one of the things I did notice here is that even though the New 52 happened and gave him like a more updated origin story, sort of, this is very classic Silver Age Superman. They had gotten rid of Superboy. I don't know if you know this.
I
So
did not.
Originally there was Superboy, and then he grew up, became Superman, etc. And then they sort of retconned that out with in the 80s when John Byrne took over the title and they rebooted the entire DC universe after the Crisis. And they just said there was no Superboy. He doesn't become Superman until he's a man. Here, giving us his info dump of his backstory, there was a Superboy.
Yeah.
And he was best friends with Lex Luthor as a kid, which was also retconned. So now that's all been retconned.
Sure.
It's back.
Reconned.
It's been reconned. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, if you're interested in Superman and don't have any history with the character, this is a great way to just jump on and be like, oh, okay, here's how. This is all the major beats of everything he's been through, from Superboy all the way through Superman. And then we get a pretty interesting end.
Yeah, the
Cliffhanger.
last like I'd say 4 pages are where
the story starts.
Yeah, exactly. If you're someone who has read comics at all previously, the last 4 pages are the only parts really worth reading.
Yeah, that you really need.
Which they're interesting enough that I will probably pick up number 2 if I see it on a shelf. I likely won't go out of my way for it.
Okay. I could see that. The other thing to acknowledge is that it's written sort of Silver Agey. Like it doesn't feel like a modern dialogue and others. It feels like a little bit of a throwback. But maybe
That's fair.
maybe that's because of all the stuff we get of him as Superboy and and the past. So yeah, I enjoyed it well enough. I was really excited for it, and I think it's pretty fresh.
I think
I'm curious to see that something happens and he's out of commission for a couple months, and then when he wakes up, things are vastly different.
Yes.
And I find it difficult to believe that things could be that different within a couple months. That was kind of that's my sticking point.
My issue. Mind you, comics not known for believability.
Right.
However,
This man who can fly
it is very jarring
and is scared of green rocks. I don't buy it.
I'm also scared of most rocks.
Let's move on to the next book, Spider-Man Wolverine, #1, by Mark Guggenheim and Kare Andrews. Duality, Part 1. Do you know who Todd McFarlane is?
I know the name. I associate it with toys. That is the end of my...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, my favorite Spider-Man was Amazing Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane. He's the guy who made me want to draw. He has a very specific art style. And Kare Andrews is doing his damnedest to take that and push it even further. He's a very big Todd McFarlane fan. Makia, are you looking at it? Look, hold on. Look at this page.
The art is very
Look
fun.
at that.
Oh.
Todd McFarlane. Yeah, it's the poses, it's the expressions. Yeah, very Todd McFarlane-y.
Very muscly and very, kinetic.
Yes, yeah. So I like that about it. The story does a thing that I'm not entirely sure I love. I'm interested enough that I'm definitely going to read #2. There's a revelation.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. But it also feels very much like Civil War, the movie.
Oh, I truthfully have not seen the Civil War movie for a very long time. I did see it, though.
Oh.
And I agree the revelation that we get makes me want to go back to this and pick up #2.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where as I got halfway through the book, I was questioning if it was worth my time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just because, I don't know, for some reason I wasn't feeling it. And I regularly read Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of X-Men, so I expected to love this. I didn't quite love it. But that being said, the art definitely kept it fun for me. And also there was some Spider-Man backstory here that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's new information or if that's just new to me.
About his parents?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That's old.
Oh, really?
His parents, yeah. So, yeah, it does deal with, it's got a knock list. So anybody who's watched Mission Impossible, there's a thing called the knock list in Mission Impossible. It's got a different name here, the Janus Project or something like that. And it is a spy MacGuffin. that's been used multiple times throughout spy stories. Is like, oh, there's all these spies, and there is a list, a computer list or a disk or something that has all the information of all the spies, but then all their
missions,
their different identities and all their missions and stuff. And if someone gets that, then all the spies will be in trouble because they're currently undercover.
Right.
And anyone who has access to this will know all of the spies and where they are and blah, blah, blah. So that is a long-standing spy story trope. And so we have that here. And it's an interesting start. I actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end. I'm curious to see how this shakes out.
I think story-wise, 100%, I will get number 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about, I think it might have been the dialogue between the two of them. There was something that just wasn't quite clicking with me.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's a small enough gripe that I'm happy with it.
It's got so many, like, Kari Andrews' art in here is so fun.
It is.
I love it. Like,
that was the highlight for me.
They
100%.
recreate Green Goblin killing Gwen Stacy, sort of, which is really well done.
Mm-hmm.
They recreate another big moment in Spidey's history and Wolverine's history, and he's just having a blast.
They go through some iconic moments for both characters.
Yeah. And
it is really fun to just see them redone.
And like, look at that. The web shooting towards the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, man, this dude, it's really cartoony. It's really over the top, really kind of bubbly. Like everyone's got these big bulbous muscles.
Yeah. Everyone's got delts for days.
Yeah. It's really fun, though. I think he's a good artist for this, this story. The thing that bothers me that Todd McFarlane did, and now Kari Andrews is also doing, is when he draws Spider-Man's profile, there's no nose.
Oh, you're right.
It's just flat. Look at that. Ridiculous. There's no nose. He's just got a flat.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me nuts. I think this was also pretty fresh.
I would have ranked it lower. You've convinced me to rank it higher.
Yes, I win.
I need to be reminded what the scale is.
Oh, it's completely arbitrary.
Okay, cool.
There is no meaning to any of
Gotcha.
it. It's if we don't like something, I usually say it's barely fresh.
Gotcha.
If it's like my favorite book of the week or whatever, fresh AF.
Right.
It's completely.
Because I definitely have a fresh AF one this week.
Ooh.
I just want to make sure that I wasn't.
Which one's that?
I
want to jump to that right now. Go.
Okay. Amazing Spider-Man I actually loved.
Awesome.
I admittedly have a little bit of bias because I read 1 through 4 all at once.
Oh, wow.
So I do think that having that continuation does lend to an improved experience.
Yeah.
This, I believe, is the second to last story in this current arc, which up to this point has involved a couple characters that I'm not familiar with.
Same. Noel and I, we reviewed issue 1. And that character's not even introduced, but on the wraparound cover by Pepe Larraz, which I have up on the wall there, I actually have a big poster of it. I was like, I know everybody in that poster, all of those villains, except the blue lady. Who's that blue lady? Yeah. And then I want to say 2 issues ago, they revealed, it's Itsy Bitsy, who is from the Daredevil. I'm sorry, not Daredevil. I'm getting distracted. Spider-Man Deadpool miniseries.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a couple issues ago, and I'm 2 behind. How's this one? It's fresh AF, you say? Yeah,
fresh AF, in my opinion. Big fan of this. I enjoyed the wrap-up of the previous run of Amazing Spider-Man. And at no point did I hate the previous run of Amazing Spider-Man like most of the internet seemed to have.
Oh, my God, dude.
However, I will say this is, so far, an improvement for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 through 3 is focused on, basically Peter is looking for a job. Mm-hmm. He comes across Rhino, who suddenly has a heart attack, and now he's investigating, like, how the hell does that happen?
Mm-hmm. And gets drugged.
Yeah. So we find out Rhino is drugged, then suddenly Spidey gets drugged while investigating this whole thing. So now he is dealing with solving a mystery while also combating his own psychosis. Effectively, he's having constant hallucinations. He's having flashbacks. He's having flashbacks to his, just flashbacks throughout his life. Yeah. Some of them are correct to what happened. Some of them aren't. So there's a lot of chaos. There's really gripping art, in my opinion. Like it's not as Larraz.
Pepe Larraz.
Yeah, it's not as cartoony as most comics that we come across, which isn't a bad thing, but it's very fitting for a more serious tone of Amazing Spider-Man.
A little bit of a horror story.
Yeah, I'm loving it right now.
Nice.
Like I said, I read all 4 issues at once, so I'm trying to remember exactly what happens in this one. Oh, we get effectively start to get to the apex of his investigation.
Yeah.
So he's figuring out what happened, how it happened, why it happened. He's still combating everything in his noggin right now. And in typical Spidey way, some loved ones are now in danger.
Yeah.
And he's trying to balance all these things at once, which is what we know and love from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big fan of this.
Awesome.
Fresh AF. I love everything about it. Very happy for the series.
So yeah, man, speaking of the internet hating Amazing Spider-Man all the time forever, I was having a conversation on Twitter yesterday with somebody, and they were just, they were so mad that Peter Parker and MJ aren't married. Oh, he was so mad. He was, oh boy. And, my thing is like, he's stuck in the middle of a story. He's never going to have a wrap up, right? Like all of these comic books, these superhero comic books are stuck in the second, what's it called? The second second act, right? Like they never get to finish up. So they're always constantly recycling and never aging and all that other stuff.
But it's also, God forbid, a character and their circumstances change over however many decades it's been.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be a pendulum swing.
Yeah. So yeah, they change them and then they switch them back and then they change them and switch them back. But like the thing that tickled me yesterday was this dude was so upset, and like only the classic Spider-Man is the good Spider-Man and everything since then is garbage. And then I find out that he's 21.
Oh.
This dude I assumed he was like 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
At the latest or at the earliest 30s. And he was 21 years old, and he spent so much time. And it got to one of those things where like I usually go, okay, well, there's plenty of other stuff for you to read. You can just read something else. Like, I don't even read Spider-Man. Then why are you wasting all of this time on something that you don't? I don't read anything past the 90s or whatever it was. He said. And it's like, what? Then why are you wasting your time? Like, just move on. Find something else to read. And that's when I found out he was 21. It's like, you weren't even around for when they were married, dog. Like, that was 20 years ago. I lived through, like, before he was married and then him being married and then, having it taken away.
Right.
And it's just, I don't understand what that is. It's, like, really in vogue on, I guess, Twitter, anywhere, social media, to just hate anything that's Spider-Man right now. If MJ isn't together, it's just like this whole gaggle of kids who have decided to make it their life mission to harass the writers and artists and editors of Amazing Spider-Man.
There's also a constant internet issue of like there's a superiority complex that comes with hating for some reason.
Yeah. Like you're not better because you don't like stuff.
Right. And to pick one of the most popular IPs on the planet, I guess just makes them feel good.
Yeah. So weird. I was flabbergasted. Like, you weren't even around for when he was married.
Mm-hmm. That's like when I was in middle school and I insisted that Led Zeppelin was the only real music. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Amazing. Perfect. So I'm really excited to catch up with this. I love Pepe Larraz. One of the problems that I'm seeing that I think is legit is people are frustrated that he's not allowed to grow. Like he had his own company. Like he was a Tony Stark level character with his own company, and he was creating technology and all this other stuff. And then he had this huge fall because of Dr. Octopus and all that other stuff. And now he's just like drawn much younger, and he's looking for a job.
True.
Those sort of things I understand people get frustrated with, of like, yeah, those happen, but we're not going to talk about it kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the very quick, like page 1, I think, of issue 1 that I'm sure you've talked about. They very quickly address what Parker Industries or whatever it was. And then very quickly dismiss it. It's like when you play the sequel to a video game and they give you a reason why all your gear from the first game has disappeared. Yeah. That's exactly what it felt like.
Yes, perfect. Wow, nice. But yeah, I'm excited to catch up with this. I'm enjoying it as well, and I love Pepe Larraz. I'm a little disappointed. I'm proactively disappointed that Pepe Larraz is going to leave and they're going to get John Romita Jr. back on, who is fine, but...
I have... necessary or not strong feelings about John Romita Jr., but that's okay.
Yeah, especially going from Pepe Larraz to John Romita Jr. Very, very big switch stylistically. Anyway, I read The World's Greatest Clobberin' Magazine, The Thing, #1, by Tony Fleece and Mason. Oh, I did not prepare the name of the artist. Shoot. Here we go. Tony Fleece and artist Justin Mason with colors by Alex Sinclair. This is I don't care about the FF.
Really?
I've like they're fine. They're great occasionally.
Fine for.
The fine yes. I every so often I will come across a mini series or a series that I think is really interesting, like the one written right now by God, who is it? It's not Chip Zdarsky. Who's writing the current one?
I truly don't remember.
Man, if Noel was here, he would know.
I'm sure he would.
But that has been really good. But overall, if they have a mini series, I just don't really care. Like The Thing, like I thought I would try it out. But this was surprisingly fun. I was kind of just making my way through it, being like, okay, I get it. It's fine. And then at the end, it's revealed that this storyline, which is very street level, it brings him back to Yancey Street, which is where he grew up before he was The Thing. And there's a character who used to bully him as a kid, and now he's come knocking on the door asking for help, and The Thing slams the door in his face.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, winds up, of course, helping him. And we find out that it's going to be dealing with a lot of another street level characters' villains, which I think is really fun. So much in the way that Spider-Man Wolverine from this week shows them squaring off against each other's villains, The Thing has another hero's villains that he's got to contend with, another street level villain. So that by the end, I was kind of like, oh, all right.
Oh,
shoot.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then look at the cover for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
JD is showing me spoilers right now,
Yeah.
which is why we can't vocalize. But
I'm actually like, oh shit, maybe I will read #2.
it does seem like a good idea, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. So yeah, The Thing is actually pretty fresh.
Good.
Even though I'm not Ryan North.
Oh,
Ryan North is writing the current FF. If anyone's interested in reading the FF, I think it's about to end. They're doing the classic comic book thing, which is ending a series and then just starting the same series again with a new #1.
I just saw internal ads today for the ones that we were reading for today that we're talking about.
Fantastic
#1
Four,
for
#1
Fantastic
by
Four.
Ryan North. Like, okay.
Cool. Oh, it's also by Ryan North?
I believe so.
I mean,
Am I
maybe
crazy?
I honestly didn't see. Maybe they make it worth it for the sake of like whatever's post World Under Doom, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I could see it being worthy of a restart.
Ryan North and Humberto Ramos.
Damn.
For Fantastic Four #1. Separated across the eons by Doom.
By Doom?
The FF must unite once more. Whoops. So I guess that's a spoiler for One World Under Doom. So,
That's not our fault.
The Thing was wasn't too bad.
Good. I'm glad.
And then we got one more?
We got Sleep
by Xander Cannon from Image Comics. #1, Sleep. This is a mostly black and white and grayscale comic with hints of red.
Yes. They choose very specific items to make red throughout various panels. And it
looks like it's going to be a horror story.
I believe it's going to turn horror. Right now we're pretty solid in suspense territory with, honestly, I wouldn't call it a comedy, but there's some well-written dialogue that makes me chuckle.
Yes.
Which was a big selling point, and I think is always very important when it comes to anything that is suspense or horror, is that you need some of that humor.
Yeah. And the humor stems from interactions between friends and stuff.
Yes.
Right?
It's not like absurd situational humor.
Yes.
It is all dialogue.
Yeah. So basically we get our start off where we're introduced to something weird, something spooky, and then we spend the majority of this issue meeting this guy's friends, and small town life.
Yeah.
Right? Just the ins and outs of living in this small town and like a friend
Pretty
coming
much.
back. And then at the end, we get a little hint of more spooky stuff. So it's kind of an interesting setup. It's not full horror all the way through. It's like, something weird's happening, and then the town just kind of goes throughout its day, and then at the end, something spooky.
So we start off seeing the main character just asleep on the couch, and he wakes up to a phone call. This is all first page. and something happened. We don't know what. Just something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to figure out, not in a mystery way. He's just in a very real world way, waking up being like, okay, I have my current day's problems, but also I guess something weird happened.
Yeah.
And then gains a little bit of context. And like you said, we meet friends. It's very much a small town vibe. It's so good.
Yeah, I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the style is cartoony.
It is.
But it also kind of works really well. It has a very indie comic book vibe that I think works really solid. Xander Ken has been around for a long time. I can't place his name, but I know I've read stuff of his before. Like
the name feels new to me. But
a decade or so ago, like even maybe more.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was good. I really like this.
And honestly, even like full overarching story aside, just the characterizations and the efficacy with which we get to know these characters so quickly is so well done.
Yeah.
Immediately you get attached to some of these people and enjoy their conversations.
He's a writer and artist from Boston. Oh, he did Kaiju Max, which I haven't read. But this makes me want to go back and read some more of his stuff.
For sure.
Bibliography. Chainsaw Vigilante from 1993 to 1994. Replacement God top. Oh, he did some top 10 with Alan Moore back in the late 90s. Top 10, T minus Evolution, Double Barrel. And then Kaiju Max is his most recent 6 seasons, quote unquote, of Kaiju Max comics. So yeah, man.
Nice.
Sleep is awesome. I really like this.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like a good kind of spooky mystery, I think I know where we're headed. Right?
I can catch the vibe of where we're headed, but I don't feel like I have an answer.
Okay.
But I also tend to not try to think too hard.
Yeah.
Because I like to just let the experience happen.
Wash over you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Have it, reveal things as it happens. But to me, this feels like a certain kind of story that I've seen so many times where someone goes to sleep and crazy shit happens and then they wake up.
Yeah.
So, but I might be wrong. Maybe he's steering us in a different direction.
I now that you actually put it so a baby could understand, I have now also connected those dots. So
and you barely had to think. Look at that. I did it for you. So yeah, I this is actually a sleeper hit for me.
Ew.
Anything
How dare
else?
you cackle like the Green Goblin like that?
What else you got? Anything else? Anything you're looking forward to?
Ooh.
I'm looking forward to Absolute Flash number 3, which comes out today. And
I'm also looking forward. I have to catch up with number 2.
I want to catch up on Amazing Spider-Man. Also, Robo Wolf.
I just picked that up off the shelf, and I think I'm going to steal it.
Yeah. Is that what it's called? Robo Wolf?
You're correct.
Who's this by? Jake Smith.
It's a very colorful synthwave art that looks very absurdist. And
I was going to say 80s, but synthwave is even more specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is absolutely synthwave.
I have no idea what the story is, but the art has sold me.
He's got those 80s sunglasses on that aren't sunglasses, but they're like shit. What would you call those? Blinds?
Yeah, I think blinds is the word, yeah.
Like you've got these lines that you can see through. Oh,
the ones that also came back for a hot second in like the 2010s.
Oh, this is violent as hell.
Oh, is it?
Oh my God.
You know what it makes me think of? I don't know if you've ever played at Hotline Miami.
No.
It seems it is very much a synthwave plus ultra violence video game.
That sounds awesome.
I've actually never played it. I've seen some people play it. It seems like a fun time. But if that's a game that you are into, it honestly, at a glance, this looks like your kind of comic.
Say it again. What's it called?
Hotline Miami.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't know what there is a sound that I've always gravitated towards whenever it happens in a song or like the song happens to be that type of music. And I was always just like, I don't know, 80s synth type stuff. And it wasn't until maybe 5 years ago that I found a playlist on Spotify or something called Synthwave. And I was like, oh my God.
Synthwave
This is what I want.
So it somehow triggers the nostalgia that lo-fi brings while also making things more exciting and feeling like you want to take on the world. And God forbid a synthwave song at a saxophone, I'm melted. I'm done.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let us know what your favorite synthwave soundtrack is. That's it. We're done. Tonight on the live stream, Alice and I are going to be discussing the newest Final Destination Bloodlines.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm very excited to talk about it. So join us 8 o'clock Wednesday night. We live stream on YouTube, Facebook, Live, whatever. I don't know. Join us there and email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Come to JD's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street. Buy some comics from me.
In Philadelphia.
And that's it. We will talk at you later. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. This is fun.
Yeah,
I like
man.
it.
I love hanging out with you. Thanks.
I'm going to go beat up Noel in Italy and stay here.
I mean, he'll be back soon.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to go meet him at the airport. And punch him.
I'm actually afraid of flying, but this is so worth it to me. I will fly to Italy and beat him up tomorrow.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Cult Pop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.